All right, let's get going. So, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining another success webinar. This week, we have the legendary Grant. So he's been a leader in the industry for years, and I've been always impressed with what he does and what his company doing over the past couple of years. I remember in 2019, when I went to NAR's big conference in San Francisco. Park Bench had this beautiful booth with lots of insights about how to be your community leader and how to be the person in the community so that people would actually come to you for real estate needs and so on. So today we're going to talk about that, and we're going to spend a little time going over these things. But first and foremost, Grant, please go ahead and introduce yourself and a little bit about Park Bench.
Thanks for having me on, Sam. This is, I've never been called a legend before. I don't know if I'm there yet. I'd like to be, but 10 years in the industry is a long time. So I'm starting to become an old person in this industry when it comes to tech vendors and companies and stuff like that. Park Bench was created by my wife and I in 2012 to solve our own problem. And that was, how can we become experts in our community? How can we get new clients and get referrals without spending money on advertising? Because we didn't, one, have the budget, and two, feel that was the way we wanted to build our business. You know, a big thing I talk to agents, I said, look, there's lots of ways of doing real estate. You can buy your business and buy leads and buy advertising, or you can create your business through relationships and referrals. And I and my wife wanted to create our business that way. And we came up with this cool neighborhood website concept, because where we were from, there wasn't a neighborhood newspaper. Those have died in most places. There wasn't a neighborhood magazine. There wasn't a neighborhood website. And so we moved there, and there was nowhere to know what was going on unless you walked around the streets. And I'm lazy. And so I said, let's build a website with a list of all the businesses and their happy hours and their daily specials and the events and the news. And it'll be a resource for the community. And once we create this, it'll give us a reason to go talk to people. And the reason why we stumbled on this concept, because my wife said, oh, let's get calendars and notepads. Realtors do that. Let's buy some calendars and notepads, and then we'll go walk around the neighborhood and give them to people. I said, no one needs a calendar and a notepad anymore. And so I said, let's come up with something like modern and digital. Like, this is 2012. It's still past. We all have iPhones at that time. And
people still had iPhones back then, right?
Yeah, right. The iPhone was still there. Facebook was emerging, and so we came up with this website idea. And I said, this is the thing we can give people. We can buy, we get a developer friends to make a website, get the content on there, and we'll go give it to people. And the process of starting conversations, giving value, helps you build a relationship that will turn into business. That's the fundamental formula, I believe, for real estate. And so we came up with this concept. It worked. Lo and behold, it worked. And then realtors came to us and they saw what we were doing in our neighborhood. They said, oh, this is a really good idea. I have not seen this before. I want one of these neighborhood websites for my neighborhood. Who did this for you? And they didn't know at the time that it was a made up idea that my wife and I came up with some friends from university. And it took us a year to build the first version of the website, and $30,000. That's another thing that people didn't really know. $30,000 and a whole year of development and getting the content and the work. And then when this realtor came and said, I want to buy one of these websites, I was like, you have no idea how hard this was. This was an idea that we thought was going to be easy and was not. Luckily, it did pay off. And I go to my friends and I say, how much would it cost to do this again? Now that there's a template, how much would it cost to do this again? And they said, oh, well, now that we've done the first version, it will take a month, not a year, and it'll only take a fraction of the cost. And then I said, Amanda, we might have an idea here. And then she said, okay, I'm gonna walk around Toronto with a PDF I'm going to go to realtors who are working in neighborhoods that we don't work. And I'm going to say, hey, this is what we did. If you want to do what we're doing and you don't compete with us in our area, we'll do it for you, and it'll save you a fraction of the time and a fraction of the money. And she came home with $30,000 and 10 agents signed up, gave her a check just for exclusivity to their area. That was the one promise. She came home and said, we have to only work with one realtor per neighborhood. I said, okay, whatever. I didn't think of this as a business at the time. I just said, okay, yeah, sure. Like, it's, you know, we're doing what we're doing. Someone else, we can help some other realtors out in our city in Toronto. And it just took off. And like, we didn't ask to be tech startup founders. We didn't ask to build a business. We were trying to build our own business, but realtors just kept giving us money to give them our technology and our system, because it was helping them get clients in their neighborhood through relationships and referrals. And 10 years later, the company is called Park Bench, and that's what we do. We help realtors get clients in their neighborhood. We build them these cool neighborhood websites. We manage it. We maintain it. We put all the content on. We do the SEO, so they don't have to do anything. Except I tell any realtor who thinks about what we do, I say, this is not a website that generates leads. This is an item of value that you're buying to go out into your community and start conversations with and give people, so you can go back, so you can use technology, but to actually go back to the foundation of real estate, which is people and relationships. And local content seems to be this catalyst for starting conversations and giving value, so you can build relationships and then get back to the most proven way of doing real estate, which is build a bigger database of people who know you, like you, trust you, and you will get more clients. And
that's awesome.
Got lots of reviews, lots of testimonials, because it works, because it's not some magical thing. It's just getting back to the basics, but using something kind of cool and modern. And that's my story.
That's an awesome story. And I think you're nailing it on the head here. It is about relationship building. It is about connecting with people, and it is about staying on top of their mind when you're a real estate agent, right? So just like that barber, that means a lot of people. If they know you are the community realtor, if they got value from you, then they're obviously going to connect with you. They're going to recommend your services because you gave them an item of a value. I think you touched on two things here. The first one was you need to provide a lot of value to everyone involved, right? So back in the day, I remember like when I was an agent, I actually had a deal with my local barber, and I would just give him like a small, like a referral fee. That was like the ultimate referral thing. But the idea was that he would recommend me as an agent, and he would get a small gift or whatever as a referral fee. It didn't mean that much. Like it wasn't a huge amount, but it meant a lot to him that I was appreciating it, right? And I think the foundation of what you just said is the exact same thing.
You just gave a little secret there. People in the hair industry are wonderful referral generators. We've found that industry in particular generates lots of referrals for agents. So become friends with all the hairstylists and barbers and people in your area. They just talk. They find out when someone's moving, who's sitting in their chair. And if they love you, they will refer you business.
Well, they're sitting in divorces.
That was a little secret you just gave the audience. Yeah. And the other one, which is the bigger picture, is business owners in general. The reason realtors think, oh, I want to work with homeowners. And I say, yes. Well, a business owner still has a home. So he is a homeowner. And he's an influence, because business owners and local professionals are influential. They talk to people, they talk to customers, people ask them for referrals. You know, if I'm just a homeowner with a job, I may not be interacting with people and giving referrals to other businesses. But if I'm a painter, roofer, plumber, hairstylist, personal trainer, mortgage, insurance, title, finance, accounting, all these people, sometimes homeowners go to them and say, hey, I'm getting my house fixed up right now with you to sell it. Do you know a good realtor who can help me sell my house? And boom, these people are huge referral generators. BNI is like the old school organization that like has been around for decades, helping realtors get referrals from the other businesses, professionals in it. And that was one of the prefaces to this whole idea, because, giving value is like the big blanket statement that everyone talks about in real estate. Oh, give value, give value, give value. And I say, okay, well, how do you give value? I always ask realtors, I'm like, how? They're like, well, I'm hardworking, and they come up with some bad answers. I'm caring. I tell them no. I'm like, that's not giving unique value. I'm like, what value are you giving? And it's sometimes hard to give a homeowner value because you don't know what you can give them except be their realtor. Yes, you can give them local information, keep them up to date with what's going on. We found that before a homeowner moves, you can give them information of value that will keep them informed, keep them up to date, helps you solidify yourself as a local expert. I know you guys do that too, which is great. That's what they should be doing, staying in front of people, giving information, becoming a local market expert. They say it's the number one reason why people hire someone is because they believe you're a local market expert. And so the stuff that you guys do and that we do help them do that. But the cool thing about business owners is there's one really surefire way to give value to them, to make them want to give you referrals and help you get clients, refer you business, promote your brand, and even hire you down the road. And that's make them money. The fastest way to make a friend is to make them money. And a business owner, you know they want to make money. That's the number one thing they want. They want to make money. A homeowner, you can't really help them make money with their job and their salary. But a business owner, you can help them make money. You can refer them business. You can connect them with people who can help them make money. And then they appreciate that so much. Notice how I didn't say spend money at the business, because lots of realtors spend money at a business. But do you actually help a business owner make money and refer them business? Because if you refer, the reciprocal law of reciprocity we found is like this huge thing in this world that is scientifically proven to work in North America. You do something for someone, they will feel obligated to do something in return. So if you want referrals, you just need to go give referrals.
And I think that's you're nailing it in the head. Like we've seen a lot of success with agents that actually launch a video series and call it "I know a guy for that." Like, so you can basically say, hey, that you're looking for a barber, I know a guy for that. You're looking for an inspector, I know a guy for that. And it could be going beyond your field of expertise, right? Inspectors, contractors, and things like that. It could be you want a good flower shop, I know a good spot. You want a good coffee, this is the right coffee place to go to. And then I think there's a lot of content, and there's a lot of leaders talking about this, that just go to the same restaurant every day for the like, if you're doing client meetings and everything, so that they know you, they connect with you. And when someone asks for that referral, and when someone looks for an agent, they just come and say, hey, you know what? Just talk to Grant. They know. He knows his shit. He's always here, and he's always there. So I think that's another really, really important thing that you're touching on. So let's ask a couple of questions. So the first one is, so I think we talked about community marketing, right? And just like how to be in the community and how to be connecting with those people. So how do you position yourself as the go-to real estate guy? So aside from websites, aside from videos, aside from all the like adding value, how do you position yourself as the go-to real estate guy in that community?
Okay. Is it really, we've been thinking about this for 10 years now. How do we help our agents do this? And I always like to just work backwards. So imagine a homeowner believes this person is the local market expert. Why would they believe that? Well, number one, that agent, what helps is the agent lives there. Just something so basic. And so when agents tell me where they want to focus, I say, I recommend you focus your marketing where you live. It's going to be easier to make people believe you're the local market expert if you can also authentically say, I live here, So people just think you have a perspective about the area. It couldn't, whether it's true or not. Like, and this is the cool thing about new agents who are listening, who are trying to become more successful and be a local market expert. I did not say you are the local market expert, because no one knows. Like, it's not like a black and white thing. This is about belief. This is about perception. How do you make a person believe and perceive you to be the local market expert? So it's easier if you live there. So pick and pick an area, right? So again, I'm starting with some basic stuff here, but some agents are like, well, I want to be a local market expert. I'm like, well, your marketing is all over the place. You are working all over the place. You're not focused. So pick an area, pick the area where you live and the surrounding areas. And then when people think about this person as a local market expert, they're not counting how many signs are on the ground. It helps to have lots of listings in the area, to have lots of clients in the area. But again, I want to speak to people who want to become the local market expert, who maybe are newer in the industry, who don't have that pedigree yet. So how do you get to have the most listings in the area and get the most buyers in the area? You need to know the most people in the area.
That's a good one.
So again, focus your relationship building in a specific area, because referrals and relationships is now 76. My screen went black. I hope I'm still here.
Still here.
Yeah, I've been having some weird Zoom issues recently where my computer just goes haywire. I'm good.
All right.
So NER did a huge study that in 2019, 56% of homeowners picked their agent because they either knew them or were referred to them. That was 2019. Wow. COVID happened. 2022, it's now 76%. That's a 30% increase in relationships and referrals, and decrease in advertising. So advertising is just working less and less and less in this post-COVID world. So if you think about that, and you think about what it means to get that business, you just need to know a lot of people in concentration. So you need to go network with all the people in the school system, the business owners, the local professionals, the homeowners in a concentrated area. It's not complicated. You've got to do the work to build relationships with people in a small area. Because when people ask, because that's how referrals are made, they ask their friend or person, hey, do you know a good realtor? If you know more people in that area, your name will likely come up in conversation because you have more relationships.
So what do you say when I'm an agent and I always have this temptation that if I serve the Greater Toronto area versus like a Oakville, like a small neighborhood in Oakville, how do I resist that temptation? Because if I serve the Greater Toronto area, people like all sort of buyers and sellers will come to me. If I go in deep in a neighborhood, have a chance to just go bigger. So what are your thoughts on that?
The riches are in the niches. That is
great answer.
Fundamental philosophy in business in the world. It's not just in real estate. The whole world knows and has gajillion anecdotes and stories and data around the riches being in the niches, which means what's your niche? Now, if your niche is condos, then you actually may have a large geographic area that you serve. If your niche is luxury, you may have a larger geographic area that you serve.
I don't even know what that term means, man. I keep seeing luxury on every realtor's car. Yeah, I'm like, what is luxury? Yeah. Like you go and drive luxury cars, or you like
part of it's ego, but again, here is the truth of luxury is true luxury clientele have different needs and wants because like for example, sports, any celebrities, any athletes, they don't want the world to know they're selling their house. Mm-hmm. So there's a very different way of doing luxury real estate for true luxury. Now, someone just says, oh, I'm in luxury because I sell $1 million houses. Well, I mean, the world is $1 million houses in lots of areas in this world because of appreciation and inflation. So you're not really doing luxury. Like that was like the true, what
And a
luxury was
condo
supposed to
is
be.
like I can't afford a house, so I'm buying a condo. So
Yeah.
you're not
Yeah.
really a condo expert. You're just an expert, right? Like you're
Yeah.
just catering to the budget.
Yeah. If you're in downtown Toronto, you're not a condo expert because that's all there is. In lots of cities. So geographic niche is a niche. And that's where you decide to focus on a specific neighborhood and all the types of houses in that neighborhood, all the types of people in that neighborhood, and maybe not just one neighborhood, because when I help a client figure out their business plan, depending on the population and the number of homes and the turnover rate of those homes in that area, you may need to work more than one neighborhood. You may need to work 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe you're in a rural area and you need to work a whole small town. And so there's an art to picking an area, but you pick a geographic area and you tell the world, I am an expert in this area. And you actually reject business outside of that, which seems scary to a realtor, but you will still get a referral fee when you refer it out to an agent who is an expert in that area. And again, you look at the research. What do homeowners care about when they're looking to buy or sell a home? And the number one thing they're looking for is who is the local market expert. And so by creating that, deciding what area you're going to focus in, you are actually helping yourself get more buyers and sellers. Even though you're saying no to deals outside that area, if you pick a big enough area, you will be just fine, right? You'll make your 6 figures. You'll be very profitable. Like, again, what's your goal? Sometimes I talk to realtors, but like, what's your goal? If you want to build a crazy big mega team, okay, fine. You guys got to work all of Toronto or all of Vancouver or all of whatever city. But if you're just an agent and you want to build a great business and have a good lifestyle, focusing in a geographic area is the most proven way of doing it.
I think you're nailing it ahead, and I think that's the key, right? Just pick your area. You do not want to be driving 2 hours to that listing.
Focus your relationship building, focus your marketing, focus your time, like focus, laser focus creates an impact, not a diluted focus.
That makes sense. So how do I get more clients through referrals and through relationships? So like, I think we talked about that a little bit, like can you go a little bit deeper?
Yeah. So say I'm an agent and I got 5 referrals last year and I want to get 10 referrals this year. Okay. Step number 1, I tell the agent, okay, first, you're doing something already to get referrals. So let's not discount what you're doing and think that you're some broken soul that needs a completely new plan. Like you're getting referrals already. So how many relationships did you have to get 5 referrals? Say you had 100 relationships and you got 5 referrals. That means 5% of your relationships with whatever it is that you're doing is getting you referrals. So if you want to get 10 referrals, you need 100 more relationships. And so, like, again, this is so basic, but people seem to overcomplicate real estate. So I say, step number 1, let's look at your ratio of relationships to referrals, and let's figure out your goal for how many referrals you want next year. And let's increase your database to make it happen. And that's just easy and simple. The second thing is you want to increase the percentage of your database who refers you business. And I go back to my original statement. How do you get a person to give you a referral? You give them a referral. So what can you refer people? You can refer people to products, services, information, people. Those are things that you can refer. And so the next question, I always work backwards. Next question is, well, how do I know what people to refer this person to? Well, ask the person who they want to know.
No,
and then this is why it's so simple. But realtors like to overcomplicate things. I say, how do I know what products to refer people to? Ask them. What do you like? What do you need? What do you want? And so a huge part of like our whole shtick at Parkbench is getting agents to meet people and interview them and ask them questions to get to know them genuinely. Because when you get to know someone, then what do they do? What do they need? What do they like? All these things, their goals, their problems. You can then refer them, make their life better. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to refer you in return. So it's really simple. It just takes work, but you keep it simple and you execute.
That's I think that's a brilliant advice. And how do you automate more outreach to people? How do you automate? Because well, we only have like it's usually realtors are like a team of 2, a team of 1. They're not that big, and they have a million things to do, right? So how do I automate my marketing? So obviously there are tools for like CRMs and social media automation like ours and website creation like yours. But how do you go beyond that? And how do you automate some of your tasks? What is your favorite thing to do?
I'll first say, here's what you can't automate. Here's what you can't delegate.
Okay.
Because my answer is going to be everything else. Look to automate and delegate, and then just go Google how to automate. Who can do this. Okay. So you can't delegate starting conversations with people. You can't delegate having conversations with people, prospects, and you can't delegate talking to your client because that's what they want you for. But everything else, you can hire someone or a company or a software to do. So once you build a relationship and get their email, you automate all the email marketing to them after. Once you get them on social media, you automate and delegate all the social media marketing after. Like a realtor should not be spending time on social media, on email, on their website, on flyering, on all these things. You should delegate and hire and outsource and look for software to automate all those things so that you have more time to talk to new people and build new relationships, follow up with the relationships you have where you're talking to them on the phone or face-to-face over Zoom, and then working with your client.
I think that's that you're nailing it on the head. And I think I always go back to this. If you're not doing that, if you're not creating relationships, if you're not, like it could be anything, if you're not the community leader, if you're not the top social media guy on my mind, guess what? Someone else is doing it for you and they're taking away business from you. And I think that's the biggest thing that we forget. We're like, oh, I don't have time for this. Guess what? Someone else is already doing this. Someone else is the go-to guy, at least at some level in your neighborhood. You have to go, and there's an old saying in real estate, right? You don't create new clients, you steal them from other realtors. And I think that's just the way it is, right? You can't convince me to buy or sell if I'm not wanting to buy or sell. But
yeah,
you can.
That's the good and the bad of real estate is you're not really making a person buy or sell a home. These are major life events that have nothing to do with you. But that's great because there's a rate at which those happen. So you just figure out the rate. People move every 10 to 20 years. That's in every market pretty much. You know, sometimes it's 5 to 10 years in a super transient up and coming neighborhood, but most markets it's 10 to 20 years. NER did the average is 17 years. That was the average for the nation. And so then it's like, all right, for every 17 relationships I have, one person's moving.
That's a good one. Yeah, for every 17 people.
Like whatever the number is in your neighborhood, this is like the step one we do with all of our clients. Figure out the turnover. It's really simple. Total sold divided by total sellable homes, right? So if 1,000 homes sold in my geo area, and there's 10,000 homes, that would be 10% of the market was sold. And if I look at the market as 100% of a pie, that means every 10 years, the whole market is going to sell through and turn over. So if people are moving every 10 years, it means for every 10 homeowners I look at, one's going to be moving. And then if I want to find 10 sellers, I have 100 people to look at. If I want to find 100 sellers, I find 1,000 people to look at.
Yeah. It's always even the same with ads, right? Like, so people come to us and they're like, I spent $50 on ads and I didn't get any clients out of it. I'm like, Okay, well, first of all, an ad takes like 6 months to a year before they convert. Second, it is a numbers game. You get 1% conversion. So you got to have 100 leads before you get that one conversion. And even with that, you have to be nurturing them. It's a cold lead, you're going to a warm lead, all those things. It does take a lot of time to actually do it, right? And I think this is what people miss. They think it's a magic button. You press it and it's done. Nothing is a magic button. It's a process of time, right? Even with the websites that you guys are building, I'm sure like it takes a month to build it. It takes a while to get SEO. It's all that process. And it's the consistency of consistently doing it. It's not like just having one-time lunch with your barber or with your like business owner.
So it used to take a month to build the websites. Now it takes less than a day. So that's like 10 years of automation and AI and machine learning and technology, all at work, at play to speed things up for us. But here is this little insight that we learned. So advertising and light conversation and light networking, networking events and all this stuff where everyone's just like handing out business cards. It's just really light and superficial. It takes numerous conversations, numerous ads to create an impact on someone's brain to now see you as an expert and have a relationship with you, etc. Now, my previous industry, when I was younger, I did a lot of events. And the thing about events is you just do one great event, one great concert. They'll remember that thing for the rest of their life. So something I think about with my agents is how can you meet that business owner and give them an experience that makes them remember you for a long time. And instead of talking to them a bunch of times or
we can still hear you.
Or advertising, instead of advertising a bunch of times or talking to them a bunch of times, how can you give them one experience that really makes an impact? Because it's actually more, even though it takes a little bit more time to create the experience up front, it actually saves time on the back end. So it's a mental shift people have to make.
That's a great advice. So it's not about the number of people that you connect with. It's about the quality of that relationship.
Correct.
It's about how impactful that content is. Like, and it's the same, I think, with neighborhood community, like referrals. It's the same with social media. It's the same with advertising. So like don't spray and pray your ads and think you're gonna. And I think when I was starting in real estate, my managing broker was like, do not do 10,000 postcards to 10,000 people. It's a terrible idea. Just take your budget, hit 100 people, maybe 200 times, right? Yes. And it worked. It worked really great. Like you just have to be present, and it's the consistency. With ads, it's the same. Like do not just pick for reach, because who cares? Like you just see you once and they forget. But when you do it as a lead gen and you keep hitting the same person enough times, then they will click on a thing, right?
Correct.
But social media is the same. Like you're going to be present like 5 to 7 times. With that relationship building is the same. Like you got to be present, and you got to be sending them messages, send them gifts, like talk to them, call them, be on top of their mind, because if you're not there, guess what? There's someone else that will take your spot.
Yeah, there's a formula, like, everyone's like, oh, this doesn't work. Like, heck, park bench doesn't work for everyone. Social media doesn't work for everyone. Buying leads doesn't work for everyone. Print marketing doesn't work for everyone. But you know what? It also works really well for some people, all those things. And like everything works. It's just a matter of whether you work it properly. And an agent can't effectively work 5 to 10 different strategies. I think it's really bad. Like one of the things I think is really bad advice, especially for the solo agent. If you're a team or a brokerage, you got a budget and a team, then you can probably make this happen. But agents should not be trying to set up 8 to 10 to 12 streams of leads. You should have one form of referrals, one form of relationship building, one form of advertising. That's three things. You can manage that. That's easy and simple. And you just go all in on those things. You find the ones that resonate with your personality, your values, the way you want to do business, and you go hard and you focus, and you'll get way more results. And that's why, like, not everyone's going to do Park Bench and not everyone's going to do roomvu. But if you do roomvu, do it. If you do Park Bench, do it. If you buy leads, do it.
Yeah, do the system, nurture them, like do the entire process. Don't just touch it on the surface. So I think this is all great advice. I think what I want to conclude this discussion with is that you can do a lot of the things that companies do for you on your own. The question is, do you have the time and resource to do it consistently, to do it effectively? And instead, you can just go talk to clients, create relationships, and all those things. So like, I don't think any of the stuff that we all do is rocket science. You can dedicate like a year of your time and do them. But the question is, if someone else can do it for you, can you just rely on them?
Yeah, do you want to?
Yeah.
And are you actually going to? Like, yeah, I have a webinar where I teach people how to do Park Bench. I said, listen, like, if you want to learn how to do this, I will tell you how to do it. But I guarantee you're not going to want to do it. Don't do it. Hire me. I'll save you time and money. You could do a webinar saying, here's how to do roomvu. I'll even give you, like, literally how to build my technology. But dude, you're not going to. Don't.
You can go on Canva and create lots of content.
Just don't. You're a realtor. Like, and it's like, you do what you do best. This is what all the successful people do. They focus on what they do best, and they hire and delegate and outsource the rest.
Riches are in the niches. I think you said it. So,
yeah.
All right. Okay. So we're coming to an end of this webinar. Thank you so much, Grant, for all the insights. I learned a lot, and I hope our audience also learned a lot. This was a great chat. And then, if you need to know more about Park Bench, the links are below this video. You can go ahead. They have an awesome service. They have an amazing product. Go take a look at it. And they've been around in the industry for a while, so they know what they're doing. This is not just like some secret thing that they found and they think it's going to work. No, it works. They've been around for a while. So there's a reason that they've been doing this. So thank you so much, Grant, for joining this call. And I really enjoyed our conversation.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, Sam, for inviting me.